He's not interested in his father. He's not interested in his brother. He's not interested in anyone. This is to get his own back. And if he can get his own back, he will make Meghan powerful as can be. And that absolutely terrifies me. I
Let's
get
talk
very
about.
emotional about it because I love the royal family and I think he can destroy it. People don't want to buy anything which they think that she's done with her hands because she's not been clean enough for most people. They don't want her hair in the whatever she's been making.
Yeah.
And it's also twice as much as
What do they
anybody
call it now?
else.
Salmonella Sussex. Breaking today. This is now so serious that Prince William thinks Harry's security win, the fact that British taxpayers are going to be able to pay for this duplicitous traitor to set up a rival royal court in the United Kingdom, could put the British monarchy at threat. That's how serious this is. And it's no surprise that William feels that way, is it? I mean, he is literally trying to save the British monarchy, trying to modernize the British monarchy. And at every step of the way, his father, whether it's in relation to Andrew Mountbatten Windsor or his treacherous brother, and his wife Meghan, who, remember, is trying to bring down the British royal family altogether on racism lies, gets in the way. So we're going to get into this today in a lot of detail. We'll get analysis from our royal mastermind, Angela Levin, Prince Harry's biographer, shortly. But first, I want to take you through this analysis from Tom Sykes of the Royalist Substack, who says that Harry's security win will sicken William. Let me take you through it. He writes, sources are now briefing journalists that they believe Harry's police protection will be restored. If this turns out to be true, it changes absolutely everything. This is the fight Harry has spent millions of dollars pursuing, the case he himself described as the most important of all. Why does it matter so much? Because it blows apart what many insiders assumed was the establishment's long-term plan for dealing with Harry: exile. The model here was Edward IV, later Duke of Windsor, who was neutralised and rendered irrelevant through banishment. Without security, Harry's trips back to the UK are complicated and expensive. But if Harry gets his security back, exile is effectively over. He can come and go from the UK at will at no personal cost. He may also regain international protected person status, entitling him to UK government security, even overseas. It would be hugely expensive, but cost is not really the issue bothering his brother. The real issue is the impression of legitimacy. Harry, being whisked through London with a police escort, sends a particular message about his position. Security coverage for him and his family would reopen many doors that have been firmly shut for years. I have reported before that Harry intends to educate his children in England. I was once told wrongly, Harry himself later said, that Eton was being considered, but my sources remain convinced that he wants them back in the UK. Partly this is about establishing them as members of the British royal family, but another factor is Harry's anxiety about gun crime in the United States. The irony here, folks, I can't deal with it. A victory on security will enable a return not as a contrite prodigal, but as the head of a parallel court trading on royal status while remaining entirely free of royal discipline. For William and Catherine preparing for an eventual change of reign, this is an appalling prospect. For Harry, it is a huge opportunity. Things have not gone the way the Sussexes hoped in America. Commercial ventures have faltered, the charity has been shuttered and restructured. Harry wouldn't be the first Brit to return home from the US with his tail between his legs, but resolved to apply the lessons of America at home. Winning security back will give him the chance to do that without massive upfront costs, and money is going to be an important theme for the Sussexes this year. Sources close to Harry remain nervous. They fear a last-minute stitch-up by Ravek, even if the risk management board rules in his favour. They are not quite ready to declare victory, but my view is that it is hard to see how this doesn't end with Harry getting what he wants. And that is despicable. And that is why I warned King Charles. Do not sit down with this dude. Do not do what you think is the right thing here. Because Harry made his choice. And that meeting, albeit less than half an hour, albeit the fact Harry had to use the back entrance, usually reserved for staff, legitimised Harry's goals, legitimised Harry's aims. And Charles, are you really trying to make life that difficult for William? Do you actually want the monarchy to survive? Because as the Duke of Windsor proves, the only way to deal with a royal so wayward, so despicable in their views, we know, of course, the Duke and Wallace Simpson were Nazi sympathisers, is to never welcome them back, to never legitimise them, to never allow them to sow discord, to try and win back the British public. So this is a huge mistake. And again, I completely understand why William, and Catherine too, although predominantly she does leave this to her husband, believe that this is going to cause huge problems for the future of the British monarchy. Angela Levin, our royal mastermind, Prince Harry's biographer. It's unbelievable, Angela, that this guy, Harry, is going to get his own way because of lies. I mean, we're going to come to the fake stalker in just a moment, Angela. But first, can we kick off with your view on William's fury over this? Does he have a right to feel this way?
Yes, absolutely. I feel that way as well. I'm not as important like him, but I do feel very concerned about it because I can tell from how well I know Harry that he's not interested in us, the people of this country or abroad. He's not interested in his father. He's not interested in his brother. He's not interested in anyone. This is to get his own back. And if he can get his own back, he will make Meghan powerful as can be. And that absolutely terrifies me. It's a nonsense. I think King Charles, who, as you know, I like enormously, he's got to work out how he can manage it. He can't be with him. I think Harry's, all the time he's gone back to see him, which is not many, but the time he's gone back while he's had cancer, has been very hurtful for his father. It makes him ill again. And I'm not surprised because he's not going to apologise. Not one apology yet. Because he doesn't feel he's wrong. And in any case, he's winning this game. And I just feel it's horrendous. He's got to change. I mean, he's got to rethink what he feels about his second son because he's not a decent fellow anymore. He was, but he no longer is. You can see that now he's aggressive. He wants to win. His determination is quite extraordinary. And it's just gone after this non-stop. I mean, even going to everything, just sort of he's just unbelievably awful.
Well, look,
I get very emotional about it because I love the royal family and I think he can destroy it. And if he destroys it and the king leaves us in whatever way, illness or, what happens, then he's going to go after William. And William has a big problem with his looking after his wife. Absolutely the right thing to do. But this is not going to be easy because Harry knows how the house works and he will make sure that he's got one better, one beforehand, and he will actually concentrate on that until there's a very difficult situation there. And if he can actually get rid of William, he will be delighted. Now, if you can imagine, Harry, who hated the royal family, realized very late in life that actually he was completely wrong. He'd love to be there, but aha, who would be with him? The dreaded Meghan. And it's just horrendous to think about it. She still thinks she's at top of the post of anybody, and he wants to feel to her that she knows that he can do something good. That's the other very important thing. She feels that he's not done very much. He's flabby. She treats him like a baby sometimes, or a servant. And now he thinks if he can get hold of the royal family all together and do it her way, she will be delightful. So we've all got to stop it. We just must stop it. It's not a game. It's not a fun. It's not poor Harry. And that's what I feel.
I totally agree. I totally agree. And Angela,
Good.
you raised that spectre of an apology. And this is what's so frustrating for me, Angela, about the public posturing of King Charles, because we know he has control of the British mainstream media, has control of the British Royal Rota. So he's trying to act tough. But at the same time, his actions in regards to Harry and Meghan, as this security decision proves, are anything but. So let me take you through this from Rebecca English, the royal editor of the Daily Mail, who has written her sort of scene-setting piece for the year, talking about how the king plans to deal with the two albatrosses around the royal family's neck. And she reports, "My sources say that while the king would never wish his younger son ill and has been pained by the circumstances around their estrangement, he also remains extremely wary of welcoming him back, given events of the past few years. Much has been made of their meeting at Clarence House in September, the first between them for 19 months. And while people are reluctant to comment on the circumstances, knowing how hysterical the Sussexes can be about wrongly perceived palace briefings and leaks, the impression I get is that the king felt slightly railroaded into it. In truth, he knew that if he refused to meet Harry, then this would inevitably have been weaponized against him at some point in the future. Better to meet and then retreat instead. For what it's worth, Harry has dismissed reports that he felt like an official visitor when he met the king as a media-led invention designed to sabotage reconciliation between father and son. However, most in royal circles are firmly of the belief that for any meaningful rapprochement to be made, the prince owes his father and his family an apology for the way he behaved. And given this is unlikely to be forthcoming, the gulf between Harry and the Windsors remains." But Angela, it's all well and good. Charles's courtiers, Tobin Andre, the director of communications, my former boss at the Daily Mail, briefing to Rebecca English, Harry must apologise. But that's just spin, because he's never going to apologise. You're about to reward him with everything that he wants. So what I am sick of, Angela, and I'm going to be very blunt about this, is the tough talk, the briefing and the twisting and the manipulation of the mainstream media without the action to back it up. There's no point talking tough and then giving Harry every goddamn thing that he wants.
I agree with you. Let me add on to that, that what Harry does, he knows he can't do something, but he pretends it's happening. And he just won't listen to things that saying, well, you can't do this and you can't do that. He just goes through like going through a machine that he's not taking any notice. And now he's talking about America and he's saying, oh, he's going to invite his father to come and see them at home. It'll be lovely. It'll be so nice. Where anyone, including him who's been in the royal family, knows that this is a working visit in America. It's not so that he's got time to go and visit Harry and the children. You can't be in and out. He knows it's not. The king has actually already said that that's very unlikely he'll be able to see him because he's got a very, very busy time there, and it's very important, and he won't be able to do that. So Harry, aha, I can take this, I can send it out so he'll look awful. So that's what he's doing. He's taking things that can't happen, blaming them on his father, and then pretending, oh gosh, it's just because they don't like me and they're not treating me properly. It's just a disgusting way of behaving. And you have to watch him very carefully to see that's what he's doing. I'm doing that. And I can see that I'm winning this one because everyone was saying, what? Not go and visit his son when he's just there in America? That's disgusting. It's not disgusting because he's working, he's not playing, he's not going there for a holiday. He's got a very important job to do during that time in America with Trump, and he can't find the time to see his children. That's it.
Exactly. It's a state visit. But by the way, I totally understand that Charles and Camilla wouldn't want to go and see Harry and Meghan anyway,
No, it
after the
takes them
way
away.
that they've acted. Then, Angela, we come to this briefing to the Mail on Sunday over the weekend. And they're really talking up, Angela, this stalker, this black female stalker who apparently posed such a threat to Harry, Angela. But of course, we haven't heard anything about her being armed or about her physically attacking Harry or having a weapon. None of that, Angela. We're just meant to believe that Harry deserves the security paid for by us, which is going to cause massive issues for Prince William for years to come because he has a stalker, a female stalker. Now, you'd have to be a bit of a stalker weirdo, as I've always said, to want to travel around the world to see Prince Harry. Okay, so you're a weirdo, right? Doesn't mean that you're putting him in danger. And I think what the Mail on Sunday did by really talking up this stalker threat was play into, again, Harry's lies.
Yeah, well, they have actually said that this female doesn't have any dangerous weapons. She doesn't have a gun, she doesn't have a stick or anything like that. So I agree that this is just something made up and thinking, aha, I've got a wonderful idea. This is going to move things around. And that's what's happening. And you can't have it. You just cannot. What worries me is that up till now, Harry has been looked after by protection guards very well. And now suddenly there's a gun. He doesn't need a gun. He was determined to have a gun. And I feel extremely annoyed that they let him get away with it because he doesn't need it at all. People aren't interested in him anymore. And he's building up himself as a sort of power unit. And he's not. He's not.
Yeah, but remember, Angela, he is the one that was wandering around London on his own down a street looking for God knows what. He is the one that revealed his Taliban kill count in his autobiography Spare, directly putting him at risk. So I don't believe that
Yeah,
the
but
risk
also,
is...
hang on, I wrote down some of the
Yeah.
others that he's doing. Nigeria, Lesotho, and that's
Colombia.
Colombia. That's right. So if he can go there and if he can wander around in London looking for somebody he doesn't know where they live and speaking through their auto here thing, it's absolutely disgusting, isn't it? It's just. It's only when he wants it, you see. It's only about him. So that's where you can see that what he's doing is trying to make him look powerful. He's not doing it for kindness or really safety. He's just doing it because he wants to show off.
Yeah, 100%. And of course, the irony that Harry's now worried about school shootings in America. You know, the irony. Yet he is the one who's trying to present the UK as being desperately unsafe. Now, look, we know one of the reasons why Harry needs to come back because business is proving completely disastrous for Meghan Markle. There was this bombshell leak over the weekend. This was from Infinite Sky 55 on Reddit, who did a great job and was able to reveal that the true stock not selling from Meghan Markle. I mean, it's astonishing stuff. 80,000 flower sprinkles left, 44,000 fruit spreads left. Brittany from the Royal News Network worked out that at the current rate of sales, which is about 9 units a day, it would take her nearly a decade to get through all of this. Cider mulling kit, this was all meant to be sold over Christmas. 14,000 still available. Lemon tea, 35,000 still available. Now, what's very interesting is that overnight, Meghan's team have realised what a major boo-boo this is. Here's the new reporting from the Royal News Network. Let me just get to it, because she has been looking overnight and said Meghan Markle has made an update to her As Ever website after details of her inventory became apparent due to her poorly designed website. It now also specifies to contact As Ever to purchase in bulk, though someone can still buy 100 on individual products, which is an insane amount beyond what anyone would actually order. This seems to confirm that the website error accurately reflected her inventory numbers, and the quick fix reflects concerns over detailing how much the brand is failing. Again, this was an obvious error that never would have happened if Meghan had hired a website design company that specialized in commerce. It's just another failure to add to As Ever and Meghan Markle's records. But what we do know now, Angela, for a fact, is that this is a total disaster. I mean, look, we'd had a pretty good indication that it was a total disaster. But now we know, Angela, we know that people are not buying this product. I mean, she sold 20 of the signature fruit spread boxes within 12 hours. So being kind, Angela, that means that she would sell 40 over the course of 24 hours. But given that she has 137,435 of these in stock, it would take her 9 years to sell the inventory. I mean, this is surely, Angela, now one of the biggest business failures of all time.
Yeah. Well, actually, you can sort of smile at this because it is ridiculous. There are reasons there. People don't want to buy anything which they think that she's done with her hands because she's not been clean enough for most people. They don't want her hair in the whatever she's been making.
Yeah.
And it's also twice as much as
What do they call
anybody
it now?
else.
Salmonella Sussex.
Yeah. Thank you. And some people just feel they don't want that. And they don't want to get it because they don't like her anymore. I imagine quite honestly that when they hear about how she has not done anything about her father, they think, oh, I don't want to buy her jam. I think it spreads in that as well. It's not just whether it's the most wonderful jam, which I believe it's not. I wasn't touched anything out of principle, let alone anything else. I don't want anything to do with her that's one of her objects. But the awful thing again today, which we've heard, is that she's doing a book in 2026, which will be all about her cooking, what she advised people to do, and that's what she's coming up with. Well, I don't know if people are going to buy that either, because at least they don't have to taste the same thing that she's been after. But I don't know that they'll want a book. I just hope not. I don't want her to do well because she's made such terrible, horrible things.
But she's
for
not.
other
I mean,
people.
the book won't sell, Angela, just like everything else hasn't sold.
Yes, good.
And clearly this disaster behind the scenes, Angela, is behind these two major departures from the Harry and Meghan operation, James
Yes.
Holt and Meredith Maines over our Christmas break. But the thing is, Angela, you've been tracking for some time. I mean, the departures numbers are so much higher than what the mainstream media report, aren't they?
Yes, but these people that she's employed are really good people. They've reached a very high standard. It's not just getting someone in and letting them try and do some work for her. These are really good people. And they just give up. They just can't stand it anymore. And the whole thing goes back to the beginning where Meghan decided that she was now very, very important and with the royal family, but no work with the royal family, that she actually is powerful and has to shout at them, ringing them at 4 o'clock in the morning and asking them to cook a cake, before they do anything else. And she does treat people appallingly badly. She does pretend, kiss, cuddle, but none of that means anything. When you hear that Harriet has told her to stop being so rude and harsh to the staff, then you realize that it is absolutely appalling. He hasn't been brought up like that. Meghan has got no idea how you behave with staff. The staff at Buckingham Palace and for the royals are delighted in their lives. They stay a long time and they are treated as one of the family. They don't get loads of money, but they are treated as one of the family. They're not treated as someone who's come in off the street and work hard for her.
Indeed, indeed. Now, look, news have just got worse for Meghan overnight because it's not just the business that's failing. Her return to acting now slammed as well. So what we're going to do...
A notorious double agent who betrayed the United States by selling intelligence secrets to the Soviet Union has died in prison at the age of 84. Aldrich Ames, a former Central Intelligence Agency counterintelligence officer, was responsible for one of the most devastating espionage scandals in American history. His actions led to the exposure of more than 30 covert agents and are believed to have directly contributed to the deaths of at least 10 United States intelligence sources operating inside the Soviet Union. Over a period of 9 years, Ames received more than $2.5 million from Moscow in exchange for classified material. He passed on highly sensitive information, including the identities of agents, satellite operations, surveillance methods, and listening systems used by Western intelligence services. Ames was arrested in April 1994 after admitting to spying for both the Soviet Union and, later, Russia. He was sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole and remained incarcerated until his death. He died on the 5th of January at the Federal Correctional Institution in Cumberland, Maryland. Investigators later determined that Ames first began selling secrets in April 1985, when he accepted $50,000 to hand over the names of American agents to the Soviet Security Service. At the time, he was struggling with significant personal debt, a factor that reportedly motivated his betrayal. Despite earning no more than $70,000 a year, Ames began living far beyond his means, purchasing a luxury car, taking expensive foreign holidays, and buying a house worth more than $500,000. His unexplained wealth raised suspicions within the Federal Bureau of Investigation, prompting a lengthy surveillance operation. Agents monitored him closely for 10 months, tracking his movements across several countries. In late 1993, investigators observed him placing a chalk mark on a postbox in Bogotá, Colombia, a known signal used to arrange contact with his Russian handlers. Shortly afterwards, plans for a meeting with Moscow operatives led authorities to approve his arrest. Ames's capture abruptly ended a 3-decade career with the intelligence agency, which had begun in the early 1960s after he left college and was helped into the organization by his father, himself a former intelligence officer. The case remains a stark reminder of the damage caused by Cold War espionage, a period marked by frequent defections and double agents operating on both sides of the Iron Curtain.